6, you're live here on GH1 TV. This is News Tonight with me, Natalie. Let's take a look at our top stories. Coming up this evening, nationwide HPV vaccination for girls between 9 and 14 years begins amidst concerns about lack of parental consent.
Go around administering consent forms to people to say, do you agree to take it or you don't agree to take it?
Stay with us for a discussion on the pertinent issues arising from that exercise. Also coming up this evening, former aide to Dr. Bawumia alleges that former President Akufo-Addo restrained Abu Jinapor from investigating Chairman Wontumi for illegal mining activities.
Jinapor
at the time
nearly lost his job.
Why?
Because of Chairman Wontumi and Akunta mining.
Also ahead in the bulletin, police rescue 110 foreign nationals held hostage in an online scam camp at Kuntunsi near Amasaman in the Ga West municipality. And in business, PIAC urges governments to arrest sharp decline in crude oil production and attract critical investments to safeguard the country's energy and economic future. And in sports tonight, Black Stars defeat Central African Republic by 5-0 in decisive World Cup qualifier. Elsewhere, Ethiopia accuses Eritrea of preparing the tensions rise. We bring you the details of these stories and much more news here on News Tonight. Do stay. You're watching News Tonight here on GH1 TV, all across the world on X at GH1 TV. Let's get started this evening. A mother's worst nightmare has unfolded in one of Accra's serene neighborhoods. Two trusted caregivers, the very people paid to nurture and protect, are now behind bars, accused of giving 2-year-old twin boys sleep-inducing medication.
The disturbing incident occurred at East Legon, one of Accra's plush neighborhoods. The suspects have been identified as 30-year-old student nurse Francisca Boachi from Konongo and 31-year-old Harriet Ansa from Jasikan in the Oti region. The pair allegedly administered sleep-inducing drugs to their employer's twin children without the mother's consent. According to police reports, the nannies used a substance suspected to be medication meant for adults to force the toddlers into deep sleep so they could attend to other activities. One of the suspects admitted to mixing the drugs with the children's meals and further confessed to acts of physical and verbal abuse. Police retrieved 2 used and 4 unused trays of the suspected substance during a search of the suspect's room. Following their arrest by the Airport Divisional DOFSU, the victims were taken to the hospital where doctors confirmed the incident and began thorough medical examinations and analysis on the twins. The Accra Regional Police Command has strongly condemned the cruel acts
and urges parents and guardians to remain vigilant in the supervision of domestic staff. Further updates on the case will be communicated as investigations continue.
Suspects Francisca and Harriet have since been charged and put before the court, where they were remanded to reappear on October 20, 2025. This heinous crime represents another reminder of the need to protect the most vulnerable among us, our children.
In other top stories, the Ghana Police Service has rescued 110 foreign nationals held hostage in an online scam camp at Kuntunsi near Amasaman in the Ga West municipality. The victims, including men and women from Cameroon, Burkina Faso and Côte d'Ivoire, were reportedly trafficked under the guise of job and football recruitment offers. 6 suspects believed to be at the center of the transnational fraud network are now in police custody as investigations deepen.
It was a dramatic rescue mission led by the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service. After weeks of surveillance and coordination with the Embassy of the Democratic Republic of Congo, the police swooped into a secluded compound at Kuntunsi, freeing 110 victims trapped in an elaborate killnet scam operation. The operation followed a tip-off from the DRC Embassy, which became suspicious after a young Congolese man sought clarification about a supposed recruitment offer from Hearts of Lions Football Club. Investigations revealed that the football recruitment was a decoy, a ploy by a human trafficking syndicate to lure victims into forced labor and digital scam activities. Police, with support from the embassy, tracked the victim's journey from Kinshasa to Accra, arresting the first suspect upon his arrival at the Kotoka International Airport. Further interrogations, lasting nearly 2 weeks, led investigators to the syndicate's hidden camp at Kuntunsi, where scores of trafficked persons were discovered in cramped rooms under tight surveillance. According to police, the camp was designed to blend in with the community, posing as a regular apartment block. But inside, victims were forced to participate in online scams, denied movement, and cut off from the outside world. 6 suspects, including a woman, all claiming to be nationals of Cameroon and Burkina Faso, were arrested at the scene. Police say screening and profiling of the victims are ongoing to confirm their identities and facilitate safe repatriation to their home countries. Authorities say the suspects will be charged and arraigned after investigations. The police are also urging the public, especially job seekers and young people, to be cautious of offers that seem to be too good to be true, as traffickers increasingly use fake online recruitment and investment schemes to capture victims. This latest operation adds to a growing list of killnet-related trafficking busts in Ghana, highlighting the country's deepening fight against cross-border exploitation and fraud.
More on that subsequently. You're watching News Tonight. We bring you insight next. On Insights this evening, the Greater Accra Regional Health Directorate has begun the rollout of the human papilloma virus vaccine as Ghana begins the mass vaccination against the HPV from today, Wednesday, October 8th till October 12th. Now, Acting Accra Regional Health Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Robert Amesia, is asking parents and guardians to ensure their young girls are vaccinated to prevent them from getting cervical cancer in the future. Evelyn Arba-Edu has more.
Otherwise known as HPV infections, are the most common sexually transmitted infections. Although most will never even know it, HPV infection is most common in people in their teens and early 20s. But it often affects women at the end of their reproductive years from 40 to 50 years. It is the 4th most common cancer in the world, with 604,000 new cases every year and 341,800 deaths. In Ghana, it is the 2nd leading cause of cancer-related deaths among women, with nearly 2,800 new cases and 1,700 deaths occurring in 2020. Approximately 70% of women with cervical cancer in Ghana are diagnosed when their tumors have progressed to advanced stages. Here's why the HPV vaccination comes in. It's been proven to help prevent cervical cancer in women, especially young girls. Ghana is seeking to vaccinate about 2.4 million girls from 9 to 14 years in the 5-day mass exercise. Acting Regional Health Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Robert Emisia, has been explaining that there's no need for parental consent for the vaccination.
There's a vaccine policy in this country, and we are not going to go around administering consent forms to people to say, do you agree to take it or you don't agree to take it? The Ministry of Health has sanctioned that we administer these vaccines to the age groups that we have already mentioned. And it is going to be treated just like any other vaccine that we administer in Ghana. So when you go to a hospital and you deliver your child and we are giving a BCG, we don't ask for consent because there is a policy that mandates we in the health service to keep our population safe when the evidence is there that when you carry out one activity or the other, the population will be saved. And this is one of the things that we have seen.
Dr. Robert Emisia also urged schools to stop preventing the vaccinators from accessing their premises and warned the vaccinators against collecting money from members of the public.
For cervical cancer of late is becoming a burden on the country. Before we get to know that people have it, they are in their later stages. And virtually every resource you spend on them, you still cannot save them. Our people are going to be everywhere within the region. And when we find that there are hurdles in some places, we'll step in. If it is a private school, they are under the umbrella of the National Association of Private Schools. If it is a public school, they are under the umbrella of the Ghana Education Service.
Checks at some schools revealed the vaccination exercise is smoothly going on. At the All Saints Anglican Primary and Junior High School at Adabraka, about 120 pupils had been vaccinated as of 11:30 p.m. One of the vaccinators, Cynthia Boatima, said the only challenge they have faced so far is most of the children want to get their parents' consent before taking the vaccine.
The teachers had to give their phones for them to call their parents, and then the parents also gave their consent. So far, they are all ready to receive it. Some have called their mothers to confirm from them before taking the vaccine. So far, everybody is willing to take it for now.
At the Nima cluster of schools, the vaccinators educated the girls on the need for the vaccination before the exercise.
Why you call it funny, but we call it what? Vaccination. Let's say vaccination.
Over 100 of them had been vaccinated before the news team arrived at 12 p.m. Some of the girls also spoke to the news team.
It will protect me against cervical cancer. I'll tell my friends to take some because it will protect me from cervical cancer.
Ghana is administering the Cadicil 4 single-dose vaccination. Over 2 million doses have arrived in the country. The dose offers a 30-year protection. Neighboring countries, including Togo, Burkina Faso, and Cote d'Ivoire, are preventing cervical cancer through the HPV vaccinations. The HPV vaccines will be added to the National Vaccine Program to eliminate cervical cancer by 2030. To achieve this, Ghana needs to fully vaccinate 90% of girls in 15 years, screen 70% of women with a high-performance test by 35 years, repeat the test at 45, and finally, ensure that 90% of women with precancerous lesions have received treatments. Evelyn Araba Edu, reporting for GHOne TV.
Well, let's stay on this issue a while longer. We've been joined in studio by Dr. Robert Emisia, the acting Greater Accra Regional Health Director of the Ghana Health Service. Joins me now for a conversation on this vaccine rollout. And many people are concerned about this vaccine. I mean, the possible complications. And key amongst the concerns is the fact that parental consent is not required. You just saw in the report a number of the students expressing the need to speak to their parents, to call their parents to be granted that consent to go ahead with this vaccine. But first of all, help enlighten us as to why the focus group is between the ages of 9 to 14.
All right, so thank you so much for providing me your platform to throw more light. Actually, human papillomavirus infection is rife usually when people are sexually active. And if you look at the age group that we are looking at, 7 to 14.
That's 9 to 14
sorry,
or 7
9
to 14?
They are just about getting into their teens. Research has also shown that age group, when you vaccinate them, they are able to produce antibodies effectively to protect them against cervical cancer caused by HPV rather than after 14 years and below 9 years. So you are looking at what will give you the maximum results. So that is why that age group has been selected. And this was done in consultation with the WHO and other partners like Gavi, UNICEF, and partners that support Ghana over the years on vaccinations.
Right. Now, beyond this mass exercise of vaccinating the girls, what's the accessibility going to be like for the vaccination post the mass exercise?
So post the campaign, the expectation is to integrate this into our routine vaccination schedules so that people can access it. But this is the campaign period. That is why you see the activities that are ongoing so far in the schools and others. Now, beyond the campaign, there are going to be various centers that you can access vaccinations. So at our routine centers like the child welfare clinics, like our hospitals, and some selected places within the communities will be set up. Also, this will be augmented by outreaches just to make it accessible to everyone. So if we're able to go through this campaign, as and when girls turn 9, they can have access to this vaccine through these areas that I've mentioned.
And you say make it available to everyone. Is it going to be accessible to people who do not fall within this age bracket?
No. So for now, it's accessible for free. For this age group between the 9 to 14 years. This is not the first time we have had this vaccine in the country. The pilot for this vaccine started way back in 2013 in 3 regions within the country.
It started in 2013?
2013.
2020, not 2023, 2013.
It started between 2013 and 2015. Okay. That was when the pilot started. And this is now a rollout of that pilot throughout the country. And this is for free for that age group, 9 to 14. But between over 10 years ago, when this vaccine was available, it wasn't for free, apart from the regions that they were piloting. I mean, the cervical HPV vaccine has been available, and people could buy it from private vendors, private facilities.
So it could be purchased. Previously, some years ago,
yes.
It could be purchased at private facilities.
Yes.
And people who do not fall within the 9 to 14 age bracket could purchase it?
Could purchase it.
So is that to say that post this exercise, people who do not fall within that age bracket can access it?
So if you go and they screen you and you don't have HPV infection, and you choose to take it, you can take it outside this program, which is meant for the age group of 9 to 14.
Okay, so kindly provide some clarity there. You say that, this program is meant, you explain why it's specifically being conducted for girls between the age of 9 to 14. However, post this exercise, women of any age can purchase this, can have this vaccine taken. Provide clarity there.
No. So what I'm saying is, for the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service, this vaccination is for an age group 9 to 14. We have started a campaign because this was something that was not routinely done. So for you to roll it out to the rest of the country, you need to do a campaign, sensitize the public. You get feedback on some issues that may come up, so that when you are rolling it out, you take into consideration the feedback from the campaigns that we are doing. What I'm saying is that beyond this campaign, when you turn 9 years as a girl in Ghana, you can visit public facilities that are going to be designated for free vaccination. And this is going to continue just as we have other vaccinations in the country. So that is what the point I'm making, that it is not going to end after the campaign. It is going to continue, and it will be integrated into our routine vaccination beyond the campaign period.
As an annual exercise.
As an annual exercise. So as and when you turn 9 years, you go to an identified center, irrespective of where you live, and then you can be offered this vaccine to protect you against HPV infection.
Very well. Now, the major concern is this controversy, we could describe it as such, concerning the fact that parental consent is not necessary. You stated it in your interview with our reporter Evelyn Arba Edu, and as I highlighted earlier, we had the students express major concern and have the need to speak with their parents. What's the Ghana Health Service doing in that regard? It doesn't appear to be something that is treated too effectively, because if it was, we wouldn't have the case of the students insisting that they speak to their parents prior.
Okay, so thank you so much. This is not the first time Ghana is rolling out a vaccine. We have rolled out several vaccines other than the ones that we do for children. During COVID, you recall that vaccines were rolled out. We have had episodes of cholera outbreaks. We've given vaccines. And the usual thing we do is you opt out or you are offered the opportunity to take the vaccine. We know that in Ghana, vaccines are voluntary when it comes to immunizing people. But the fact is that this is a public health initiative that is geared towards ensuring that people are protected now and in future. So we appreciate the concerns from parents, and we are taking it as a good feedback to help us in our campaigns. We're identifying the groups that are protesting that they won't allow their wards to take these vaccines, and we are informing the teams in various areas to engage them. We are not going to force people to take the vaccines.
So there have been some cases of girls between this age who have opted out.
There are a few reported cases. After the media engagement, I went to a few areas. And those areas I went, children said they wanted to call their parents, but I did not identify any case where somebody refused to be vaccinated. We went around with your team, and they can attest that if you express concern that you are going to be immunized and you want to take clearance from your parent, we don't think that is out of the norm. We give you that chance. And for all the children who called their parents, they answered that they could go ahead and take. And I think this has alerted us that we need to do our engagement more.
Absolutely. I mean, it appears, Dr. Amesia, that there's that engagement, as you put it, and education is not being done sufficiently at all. Because, I mean, yes, you mentioned it's to public health, right? It's to protect these young girls. However, parents will generally be concerned. I mean, we could even link it. You mentioned the COVID vaccine, for instance. There are many concerns being raised in that context if you're to sort of measure the two. And even in the United States, we had the President, Donald Trump, even linking vaccines to causes like autism. So there are major concerns when it comes to taking vaccines. And parental consent somewhat is still being sought, because calling the parents is the parents giving consent. So how is the Ghana Health Service going to properly and effectively deal with this?
So Ghana Health Service has structures at all levels: national level, regional level, the district level, the sub-district level, right down to the community level. And these engagements are done at all these levels. I'm sure you have seen social media posts, electronic media posts, radio adverts on this HPV vaccine. In fact, when we visited the Nima cluster of schools, when the question was put whether the children had heard of HPV vaccination, a number of them answered yes. So even children that are between 9 to 14 years have heard that these vaccination campaigns have gone
would you
on.
say, right, yes. I mean, for purpose of time, we'd have to, but just briefly, would you say that the education has been sufficient from where you sit in an honest
From where
review?
I sit, I think we have done our bit, and we think that is enough. So, but we are not to judge and praise ourselves. We need to be humble to take up concerns from the public, and that will inform us regarding how we'll reshape and re-engage the communities and then parents as to what we should do. But routinely, when you are vaccinating the population, it is not the norm that you issue consent forms for people to consent as if they are going for surgical procedures before you go on. But when people opt out, you document that A or B has opted out of this vaccine, and you now target those individuals for engagement. What are the reasons?
Right, now.
Yeah.
5.
So is it out of fear? Is it out of a particular concern? If we need to use trusted community leaders to engage these people, that this vaccine has been certified by the FDA in Ghana. This vaccine has been piloted in 3 regions in Ghana and found to be very safe, and that this vaccine has been utilized by other countries, some even who are our neighbors, for a long period of time, and we haven't recorded very adverse events, and that they are safe and they are protective. I'm sure when people are convinced that these are going to help their young girls save them from cervical cancer in future, they will finally accept. But we just had reports from the various teams in the region, and there are a few concerns, but the majority, if you go around, have accepted, and then they have taken the vaccine.
Now, Dr. Emesia, finally, this HPV can cause certain cancers, as has been highlighted, cervical cancer. Does the vaccine, does it prevent any other forms of cancers?
Okay, so apart from the cervical cancer, we don't yet know any other cancer, but other conditions like warts, is something that HPV can cause, genital warts and others. You can also have cancers in other areas of the body, like in the vagina, in the anal area, but majority of the cancers are in the cervix, and that is why the focus is on the cervix. But we have reported cases of cancers caused by HPV in the anal area, in the vulval area, in the vaginal area. So it is not only the cervix, but other areas you can have, but that is just a minority. In 99% of the cases, it's a cervical cancer that the HPV causes, and that is why the focus is on cervical cancer, which is the greatest of the problems that the HPV gives us problems.
Very well. Well, thank you for your time this evening, Dr. Robert Emesia joining us there now. This mass vaccine exercise concludes on the 12th of October, and this is set to be an annual exercise by the Ghana Health Service. You're watching News Tonight here on GH1 TV. More news shortly. Welcome back to News Tonight here on GH1 TV. Let's take some more stories this evening. Former assistant to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and now presidential staffer Rosemond Obeng claims that former President Nana Akufo-Addo restrained Abu Jinapor from investigating Chairman Wontumi over illegal mining activities since he was a major financier of the MPP.
Do you know that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Abu Jinapor,
at the time
nearly lost his job?
Why?
Because of Chairman Wontumi and Akonta mining. You know, he called Chairman Wontumi out. He called Akonta mining out that they don't have what it takes to mine in the forest reserves. Also, that he was involved in illegal mining. That is what Honorable Jinapor did. And then we had our President Nana coming out clearly on the platform to say that Akonta mining is clean. What did he seek to do? He sought to clear or to clean up Chairman Wontumi. You have a sector minister who is making sure that the right thing is done, who is investigating Akonta mining, who perhaps briefs you, who knows his stuff. But because allegedly you were receiving proceeds of Akonta mining, you sought to protect Chairman Wontumi.
Meanwhile, a member of the MPP's communications team, Grace Amwabing, has accused the NDC of witch hunting over the detention of Chairman Wontumi. Speaking on the GH Today, she describes his bail conditions as unfair.
The first one, when he was arrested, they wanted some documents. Then it took some of the MPP people to come up with that document. That was unheard of because people were ready to come, but then the document that they were supposed to provide was just out of the moon. They couldn't get it anywhere. And they are still doing that because I think it is deliberate. I think it's just pure witch hunting because why would you give somebody these conditions when you know very well that it will be difficult for the person to meet the conditions? For me, I think with the Chairman Wontumi's case, it's just pure witch hunting. Even with the charges, what they are telling Ghanaians that he has done. We have people that I mentioned earlier, who have been mentioned, who have been named that they are doing the same things, but they are.
All away from that, let's turn to the race for the New Patriotic Party's flag bearership, which has intensified as the Presidential Vetting Committee recommends the disqualification of aspirant engineer Kwabena Ejepong for failing to pay the 4.6 million cedis development fee under the party's eligibility criteria. You may recall that the largest opposition party recently opened nominations for its presidential aspirant, charging 100,000 cedis for nomination forms, 500,000 cedis as filing fees, and an additional 4.6 million Ghana cedis as a development fee. Star News sources indicate that his camp is expected to respond even as the National Executive Council prepares to take a final decision. Well, certainly more on that subsequently. Meanwhile, the MPP has slated its January 31 parliamentary primaries for October 10th. So we'll certainly bring you more on that subsequently right here on GH1 TV. You're watching News Tonight here on GH1 TV. In other news, the Minister for the Interior and Minister responsible for National Security, Muntaka Mubarak, has issued a stern warning to galamsey operators, pledging to decisively deal with them when caught. Now, speaking at the commissioning of an ultra-modern National Signals Bureau, Eastern Regional Command in Kufuridia, the minister highlighted that the facility is equipped with advanced surveillance and intelligence gathering systems to detect and track criminal activities, including illegal mining, in real time.
The establishment of the regional command, according to the Interior Minister, Muntaka Muhammad Mubarak, is part of the government reset agenda and its broader commitment under the 24-hour economy program to ensure a secure environment for economic activities. He explained that the National Signals Bureau's expanded regional presence would enhance signals intelligence, enable security agencies to track kidnappers, fraudsters, armed robbers, and transnational crime networks through lawful interception and analysis of digital communications.
It is staffed with dedicated, well-trained team of surveillance personnel, network maintenance engineers, and cybersecurity experts, among others, ensuring our systems are not only operational but also secure from malicious actors. And let me sound and say here that what we have here has a huge capability of monitoring the galamsey activities and be able to chase the perpetrators and deal with them accordingly.
Addressing the growing attacks on security installations and personnel, the Asawasi MP cautioned that any community that targets men and women in uniform will face the full force of the security services.
For emphasis, just like the security coordinator says, I just issued a statement before I left Accra. We are not anymore going to tolerate communities that attack our security personnel and our security facilities. We will no longer tolerate that. And I send this signal and this announcement to all perpetrators who think, because of our democracy and our resolve to get our security agencies to do the right thing, to take them for granted.
Eastern Regional Minister Rita Akwesua Ije Akwete said the security of the region is threatened by illegal mining activities, with its attendant environmental degradation, armed robbery, and illicit use of drugs. She expressed excitement over the establishment of the command center in her region to deal with such crimes.
The nature of the region makes it prone to insecurity and threats. The incessant illegal mining activities with its attendants, environmental degradation and armed robbery, illicit use of drugs continue to threaten the region's security. It is in line with thee that we acknowledge the significance of this office and will commit to the needed resources to ensure its effectiveness to the region.
However, the National Security Coordinator, COP Osman Alasan, charged the police to work closely with the Bureau to deal with crime in real time.
The security of the region is not that of NSB alone. It's a collective responsibility. And for that matter, the office only serves as a critical force multiplier for the regional security setup, and so can also help the RECSEC in its duties. I wish to take this opportunity to urge the Ghana Police Service, who are the forerunners of internal security, to make maximum use of this facility by collaborating with the staff here.
Meanwhile, the new facility is one of 4 to be commissioned this year and would have access to a network of over 10,000 CCTV cameras nationwide, allowing real-time surveillance and coordinated response to security threats.
Away from illegal mining, management of the EIB network has paid a courtesy visit to the Accra Medical Center to express appreciation for their vital partnership during the company's breast cancer screening exercise for staff. The visit formed part of EIB's commitments to strengthening collaborations that promote staff welfare and workplace health.
More than 70 staff members underwent medical screening during the exercise, with some advised to seek further medical evaluation, underscoring the company's commitment to promoting quality healthcare and wellness among its employees. The delegation, led by the Group Human Resource Manager, commended the Accra Medical Center for its professionalism and commitment throughout the exercise. The visit also recognized the center's consistent support as a medical partner over the past 3 years, a collaboration that forms a key part of EIB's corporate health initiatives. EIB sales manager Cyril Sovereign Cedric underscored the importance of the visit and explained why the Accra Medical Center continues to be the preferred partner for such health interventions.
Over the years, Accra Medical Center has partnered with us to offer services for our staff as well as our other events that we organize. They've been our medical partner, and we thought it wise. Management thought it wise to pay a visit to them to say thank you, appreciate them for their support over the years, and also ask for more as we move on.
Marketing officer at the Accra Medical Center, Elik Plim Opare, applauded the partnership between the two institutions and expressed optimism about future collaborations.
It's been a great collaboration so far. We had really good engagement with them. The month of October, which is a pink month, comes with education, sensitization, and also screening. And so we engaged the EIB, where we came there, spoke to them about living a regenerative lifestyle in terms of early detection and also getting aware of their status, and also use the opportunity to screen them. And so individually, every staff was screened on breast cancer, both the male and also the female.
He also took the opportunity to highlight some of the center's ongoing medical initiatives and its commitment to providing quality healthcare to the public.
Accra Medical Center is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. We've been in existence for the past 13 years. And I can tell you how we have a wide array of services spanning from GP services to specialist services. Apart from open heart surgery, we embark on all other surgeries. So you can talk of urology, you can talk of neurosurgeries, you can talk of pediatric surgery, obs and gynae, just you mentioned it. It's a one-stop shop experience that you get when you come to Accra Medical Center.
EIB management reaffirmed its commitment to employee well-being through sustained medical outreach programs and continued partnerships with credible healthcare institutions.
Away from that, brand ambassador of Afro Max Plus, a dietary supplement for men, Councillor George Lutrit, is urging governments to consider including the drug on the National Health Insurance Scheme to help prevent prostate complications in men. Newly launched on the Ghanaian market, Afro Max Plus serves as a kidney, liver and immune booster and ultimately helps build a healthy prostate. Calvin Powell has more.
According to Professor Alexa J., chairman of the Tosin Cancer Institute in the United States of America, 82% of Ghanaians with prostate-related ailments die annually. Against this backdrop, the introduction of Afromax Plus on the Ghanaian market is not just timely, but necessary, as it provides an effective preventive measure against prostate complications. For easy access to every Ghanaian man, Councillor George Lutrit advocates for its inclusion on the National Health Insurance Scheme.
It should be on the national health so that men too can be taken care of. Now, we're having good times now when it comes to renal issues on national health. We are doing a lot with that. But we have something that can protect our liver and our kidney. Then the story is that we will not even waste much money for people to go to dialysis. So let's put it on the health insurance. And it's a request. We can't enforce it, but we are just doing a request.
Councillor George Lutrit further highlighted the potency of Afromax Plus and urged men to take special interest in the condition of their prostate, emphasizing the importance of regular checkups.
Afromax Plus has a lot of medicinal values, and the basic ones are proper blood circulation. The next one is to help you build a healthy prostate. The next one is to take care of your liver and your kidney, and to also deal with any form of stress. So the total well-being of a man is Afromax Plus. That is why we say it is called the immune support or immune booster. So it helps you build your manness. All that you see on the box works. It works.
The launch, which attracted a host of men and women, saw media personalities such as Kwame Sefakai, Akuma Mamazimbi, and Yao Sechi in attendance.
Well, we bring you business news next on News Tonight.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
In business news tonight, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, has announced plans to increase transport fares due to persistent instability in fuel prices. The union's public relations officer, Abbas Ibrahim Moro, has been explaining that rising fuel costs and the refusal of spare parts dealers to reduce prices have forced the union to consider the fare adjustments. He is urging the government to act swiftly to stabilize fuel prices to prevent the fare hike. In some other business news, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, has renewed its urgent call for the government to take immediate action in arresting the sharp decline in crude oil production, which fell by 23.92% in the first half of 2025. Now, in response to this alarming drop, PIAC is asking the Ministry of Energy and its allied agencies to intensify efforts to reverse this trend and attract critical investments into Ghana's upstream petroleum sector to safeguard the country's energy and economic future. We're going to bring you details on this and some further updates subsequently.
Was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Hey! Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in the maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to CompuGhana.
Don't see. This your tablet from CompuGhana has really helped me. Now I track my sales like finance minister. CompuGhana, class and
number one.
At CompuGhana, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
CompuGhana, class in CompuGhana, number one.
You're welcome back to News Tonight here on GH1 TV. Now we have sports news next. Joel Champong is in studio. Joel, it's been a great day for the Black Stars, hasn't it, for Ghana at large?
Exactly. It's more like putting the icing on the cake. That's what we were all expecting. We needed just a win, and it became more than a win. For the first time in 10 years, we scored 5. Yeah, that's big news. And so, yeah, all these details here on the sports news. Yeah, so, we start off with our very first story that has to do with the senior national team, the Black Stars, who played against Central African Republic this evening, and they won by 5-0 in Morocco this evening. It was a brilliant performance by the gallant Black Stars players, who began the game well and were rewarded with a goal in the 20th minute after Mohamed Salisu's header got Mohamed Kudus's corner for the first goal. The Stars scored more goals in the second half with Jordan Ayew, Thomas Partey, Alexander Jiku and substitute Kamaldeen Sulemana all getting onto the score sheet. The Stars have all but qualified for the 2026 FIFA World Cup and will now face Comoros on Sunday at the Accra Sports Stadium at 7 p.m. All right, still on the Black Stars, and former captain of the Black Stars, Baby Jet Asamoah has expressed satisfaction with the performance of the team after their overwhelming 5-0 win over Central African Republic. The former striker, who is Ghana's top scorer, was speaking exclusively to EIB Sports and is excited that the win qualifies the team to the next 2026 FIFA World Cup.
It means a lot. It means a lot to us, the delegation who came to support the team, the whole of Ghana. Ghana was waiting for a victory, but I'm sure we didn't wait for this kind of margin. But at the end of the day, the boys have done well for themselves. They've built a legacy for themselves, and right now we are very close to the World Cup. So kudos to the boys; they've done everything, and they came here for the finishing touches, and that is what they've done. And kudos to them. For us, we're not thinking about those playing. We want to be more consistent. The consistency is very, very important. Winning week out, winning international break. It's what we want. We want to be winning everything, not to be thinking about what others are playing. So we cannot depend on somebody's scoreline and determine whether we are going to the World Cup or not. For the margin that the Black Stars have delivered, it shows that the boys are ready, and hopefully, and I'm very, very sure we qualify.
All right, so let's take our very final story that has to do with fans who thronged the stadium in Morocco to support the senior national team. My colleague Monica Bukari sampled some views of them.
One of the radio stations, the one is Cadeau. I mentioned it in Dutch, and he asked me what is the meaning of cadeautje, and I said it in Dutch. When you say cadeautje, it's a gift, it's bonus. That means 5-0. This is the mystery behind it. It's 4-1, but it's 5-0. So that one is Cadeau. Yes, so you understand? Yes. So why last night? Why last night? When you are united, nobody can break you.
All right, so Kado, and for those of you who understand Dutch, that's what he says. But then before we wrap up, let me just bring you the table and how it looks like for you to understand that we've qualified, no matter the issue. Don't let anybody lie to you. The permutation, we are not going to perm anything. There you have it. The senior national team, the Black Stars, has 22 points. No matter the scoreline between Madagascar and Mali in their next game, it means that we're already gone through. When they win it, they have to win. They're going to get 22 points apiece with us. Even when we draw or we lose against Comoros on Sunday, it's going to be head-to-head, meaning that the head-to-head is going to be between Madagascar and Ghana. We'll be checking the number of goals that have been scored between the two sides, and we have an upper hand over Madagascar. So this is how it looks like. Mali doesn't have anywhere to go. They can't even use their route to play in the playoffs. Comoros is already out. Central African Republic and Chad only amass the points. That's how we wrap up the sports news here on News Tonight. My name is GHOne Champong. That's all.
Ethiopia has accused Eritrea of preparing to wage war against it in collusion with an opposition grouping in the latest sign of escalating tensions between the two neighbors over control of the Red Sea. Ethiopia's accusation is contained in a letter sent by its foreign minister to UN chief Antonio Guterres, warning that the collusion had become more evident over the past few months. Eritrea has not yet commented on the letter, but its relationship with Ethiopia has become increasingly strained in recent months. Ethiopia has been rallying support to regain access to the Red Sea, causing alarm in Eritrea as it took control of the coastline at independence in 1993. Now, if the allegations are true, it means that Eritrea is waging a proxy war against Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government to prevent it from launching a military incursion into Eritrea to seize ports along the Red Sea. Ethiopia and Eritrea fought for control of the border town of Badme from 1998 to 2000, causing deaths of tens of thousands of people. And that is how we draw the curtains on news tonight this evening. Lots more news available on our website, starfm.com.gh. It was produced by Bernice Abubedu Lancer, directed by Daniel Ryan. From Natalie Fort, and the entire team, have a wonderful evening.